Hello and welcome to the iRacing Le Mans Series Week 2 here at Road Atlanta, live on Apex Racing TV. I am Sam Fitzpatrick, and alongside me is Ryan Walker, and in the cameras, Adam Barth. And yeah, like I said, we are here at Road Atlanta, and Ryan, this isn't necessarily a circuit associated with these cars, but of course we do have Petit Le Mans every year around here. It's a short circuit. It's a circuit which is going to be awkward for the traffic, and yeah, it's going to be a great challenge to particularly those LMP1 drivers out there today.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, Road Atlanta is. It doesn't. These cars don't really race you that much in real life, apart from Petit Le Mans, as you mentioned. But yeah, tonight it should be interesting to watch. And as you say, the traffic around here is going to be very, very challenging, especially for the P1 guys that are lapping GT traffic. And I think tonight they'll have to show some patience and just be careful.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely fundamental to any sorts of success out there. We are just gridding up, actually, so I think we will just go through the grid now. And it's Fabrice Cornelius on pole position, Patrick Wolff in second place, Daniel Benefield on the second row in third. Alex Simpson will be rooting for him in fourth, and he's certainly given himself a chance of the win from there. Dragan Nikic in fifth. So Ashley Owen starts in sixth, and then Danilo Piazza in seventh. Thierry Vincent eighth, Syanja ninth, Julian Ribelou in 10th, and Jimmy Broadbent in 11th. And then it's on pole position for the GTEs. Fraser Williamson, 14th overall. Johan Harth is second in the GTEs. Carlo Labazzi third. Orion Talmont in fourth. Will Chagutha in fifth. And it's Dirk van Tulden in sixth. Jesper Derlicke in seventh. Adam Chemilowski. Wow, those names are difficult today. In eighth. And it's Antivias in ninth position. In the GT3s, big old field this, it's Jack Sedgwick in first, and it's the Sensei Silvestri, Kevin Siggy, Jordan Weeks, Cedric Boland, Michel Ricci, Patrick Fields, Florian Groeman, Sven Kmartz, Thibault Props, Andre Lanza, Julian Groenen, Michael Dallavalle, Curtis Hardy, Claudio Panada, Dem Ganter, Thomas Hinz, Dirk Friedemann, Lars Moldener, Andy Pers, Kent Leidick, and then the drivers who didn't set a time in qualifying, Joseph Burton Harris, David Barclough, and Javier Perez. Of course, we've got the formation lap just coming round now, but yeah, it's going to be a good one, this, isn't it, Ryan? And I don't know if you caught the first round. I don't think you caught too much of it, but the action was very quick around there, and it's going to be difficult around here because as an LMP1 driver, you have got to be so committed when it comes to the overtakes. When you see the pros really go about their business, you know, there's absolutely no hesitation. But around here, especially through this part of the circuit that we're now following, it's you can't go think twice.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole broadcast last week. I caught some of it in the early stages, but I didn't get a chance to watch the whole race. With regards to the P1 drivers as well, when coming to lap traffic, and sometimes you've either got to commit to the move when lapping traffic, or sometimes you've just got to be a little bit careful and back out of it. But around this track, such as Road Atlanta, I think, as I said earlier, these guys are just going to have to be patient and be careful when it comes to lapping traffic, especially with it being a 1 hour race as well.
Yeah, and of course back with the GTEs and GT3s as well. Great GT3 field up there. It's about 20 cars or something, and we don't exactly need a whole lot of them to have a good race, but that's going to be so competitive, and it's just great to see the competitiveness in this series. Of course, it's super high participation, that's great, and it's great to have so many viewers along with us. But yeah, this should be a great one. The quality of driving, you know, the cutoff is something like 5,000 iRacing, which is just absolutely stunning. So there's not a bad driver in this field. So yeah, brilliant to broadcast this one. I'm just coming around the final chicane now. And of course, up this infamous hill and back down. Will be easy flats up for these LMP1s. And let's see what the energy management around this first lap is like. It's Fabrice Cornelius off the pole, and he's already gone. It's a brilliant start. Patrick Wolf holds on to second position. Not really much movement in the LMP1s, just a little bit side by side further back. That's Dragon Nikic just going down the inside, I think, and trying to get a move on. Alex Simpson couldn't quite make it. Cyanja's already gone up 2 positions, like he's the big gainer in that field. And in the HBDs, it's still status quo in that field. And yeah, it's a good start currently for Johan Hart. He's managed to snatch the lead off Fraser Williamson. Awesome start for him, and Fraser will be trying to respond and back in the GTEs. And it's Jack Sedgwick still leading that class as well, so pretty clean. And yeah, it can be difficult to do those first few corners as well, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just looking back at the replay from the first lap in the HBDs. It looked like the pole sitter Fraser Williamson had issues on the first lap into turn 1.
Yeah, I don't think we quite caught that one, but yeah, not good for Fraser whatsoever. It was an awesome qualifying lap to, you know, snatch pole position, but yeah, not the start he wanted whatsoever. And just going, yeah, this was it then, and yeah, certainly fell down the field very early on. And yeah, I don't know if you caught a little bit more of that, Ryan, but yeah, how did that all stem from?
Yeah, it just looked like heading into turn 1, I think it just looked like I don't know who it was, but someone just made a move up the inside, and maybe Fraser just got a bit flustered, or kind of, yeah, this looks like he got flustered or unsettled and just ran wide, and yeah, he's lost a whole heap of places and a whole heap of time.
Yeah, not all good for him whatsoever. Still Fabrice Cornelius leading this one ahead of his teammate Patrick Wolf. It'll be interesting to see if there's any team games, although I seriously doubt it, because these two are very, very competitive and they won't want to give one another easy victories. And Wolf certainly pushing at the moment. They are pulling away quite a bit from the two behind, Benefield and Simpson, and that was Ashley Owen, and he losing rear on the exit of that turn 1, just ahead of the top Aldi, I think, in Cyanja, who's had a good start. I think that's just staying settled currently. And actually, no, that was a move then for Owen. So Cyanja managed to gain 3 positions on that opening lap, but back came Ashley Owen. And yeah, once he got onto that curb, that very, very nearly lost the car once again.
Yeah, just looking back through the LMP1 pack as well, and yeah, it looks like our colleague from Apex Racing TV, Alex Simpson, has had a good first few laps at the moment. So yeah, good job so far by Alex.
Yeah, certainly running in that 4th position very handily, just ahead of Jack and Nikic, not too far ahead, under a little bit of pressure, but currently he is okay. Just needs to make sure they, you know, maintains that battery very well, and of course all these drivers will know how to do that, but it is certainly a good racecraft technique to maybe save a little bit over a couple of laps and then deploy it all at once, and that could be an opportunity for Nikic to get past. But for now, Simpson very comfortable in that P4 position. And here's Richie just coming under a bit of pressure and just losing out there, and I think Piazza's just lost a couple of positions, I think, but yeah, Richie just lost out to Weeks then, and actually under pressure a little bit from the Ferrari behind. And just look to the inside. Richie goes defensive, still can go around the outside in this turn 1, but just backs out of it, does Fields in the end. And Richie holds on through this part of the circuit. Once he gets to this point, it's very much following one by one for the rest of this first sector.
Yeah, it's pretty close in the GTE field at the moment. Seems to be very close through all the way through the pack in that class. So yeah, that's why I like the GTE class, because the move going on behind Jordan.
Yeah, that's an awesome move from Pease in the end. So had to wait a little bit up the hill, but once the opportunity came along, straight around the outside, and that's a brilliant move. But can now Richie come back? He won't like that. Michel Richie, of course, a terrific driver. Patrick feels I don't know too much about, but he's certainly driving very well at the moment. And Richie goes back to the outside. Can he force his way round here? He will have the inside if he can just be a little bit later on the brakes, but he has to back out, and now he's going to be under pressure from just behind. A bit of a queue now forming behind these drivers, and they're falling back from the car ahead of Jordan Weeks. So Fees hangs on to that one for now. And already the LMP2 just come through.
Yeah, it's like I mentioned before the broadcast, that it won't be long before the LMP1 cars and the HSPDs will be catching GT traffic with it being such a short track.
Yeah, we're already seeing that, and yeah, it can be absolutely fascinating element. This such a difficult circuit to make the move stick, and we can just see the LMP1s, and you always get shot off the circuit. It's just a slalom through the field. Such a difficult one.
Yeah, it looks like Fabrice is getting his elbows out in GT traffic. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I guess he's probably trying to get away from his teammate Patrick. Oh, 4 wide, Jesus.
Yeah, it's absolute insanity at the moment. Sanjay just nipping down inside of all of them.
That's the weak.
So who was that just getting involved in the collision, Ryan?
I'm just looking back at the replay now, and it looks like Jordan Weeks was one of the drivers in the GTE class that was caught up with someone else. I think it was just a racing incident or a concertina effect.
Yeah, terrible for those guys. Still, the LMP1s just about managed to get their way through the first field of GTEs, but they're going to have to do that routine a couple of times. And just going for the move there, that's Nikic. And has he just made the move on Simpson? And a bit of contact there. And sorry, that was Benefield that he was making the move on. So Benefield's had a couple of poor corners and dropped back. And yeah, Owen now gets past, so not a good lap for Benefield. Simpson up into P3, awesome for him.
Yeah, good job by Alex so far. He just seems to be playing the long game at the moment and just keeping out of trouble, and yeah, it's working so far, and he's doing a good job.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and he's already got quite a nice lead out there in P3, but seemingly not going to change. The other couple of drivers, and back goes past Ashley Owen, then up into 4th place, gains 2 positions in about half a lap. Awesome for him. And here it was, just using a load more energy to pull that move off. He might be a little bit vulnerable later on in this lap, but for now at least he's got that one. But back comes Nikic.
It looks like they're using different strategies with regards to the deployment of the hybrid boost. So yeah, it's interesting to see whether they're using it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, maybe Nikic there just felt a little bit desperate to get past that move. Maybe deploy a little bit more energy down that straight, and we'll just see how this one evolves. Benefield really dropping back in the background, and yeah, he's clearly got a little bit of damage, I think, on that car after that collision earlier on. Williamson's trying to make his way back up the field currently. Not too much damage on that car after that first lap incident, And oh, he's on the outside of the boards.
Oh, it's a bit risky.
Season.
Oh!
You almost. The driver must just be terrified that the Ford's just not going to see, you know, Fraser there and just turn out ever so slightly, and all of a sudden you're on the grass and, you know, potentially into a wall. It's just yeah, an hour of chaos really.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I've done some races in the series last season. I think I've done a couple of races at Le Mans last season, and yeah, as a GT driver being lapped by prototypes, it was a bit. What's to say? I was clenching at times.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing you can do.
Oh,
and into the wall, I think in the background there. It's Orion Talman a long way off, and oh dear, that's a big old collision there. So let's see how this one unfolded. Talman then, oh, he just lost, and oh wow, the Ferrari then, not sure who the Ferrari was, but just stranded on the track there, and it was Grayman then. So Grayman out of the event.
Williamson's right in the tail of Drick. I can't say his name. I'll just call him Jesper. Yeah, he's behind Jesper.
It's really difficult today. There's a lot of difficult names out there to pronounce. So yeah, and a lot of names I haven't seen before, which is good to see. A lot of new drivers mixing it around with maybe the more experienced pro drivers. And Williamson now trying to go down the inside. Well, it's going to be brave. Can he use the back marker of society? Let's see if they try to get past this mid part of the S's. Just see them go to the outside here. Can Williamson get through as well? This is going to be so risky if he does. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, that's the risk that you got to play. Williamson though does not lose any time. Now is fully committed.
Williamson's got a run.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Oh, nice smooth maybe from Williamson. Again, the traffic interfering. And he just ducks in behind now.
If he can get a good exit, Williamson might have him here.
Yep, heading down into the chicane now. Goes to the outside, will be the inside in a couple of seconds, and Williamson should get that one done now. Now the LMP1's coming through the HPDs, I think.
P1 off in the background.
Yep, there they are. So it's still Cornelis leading Wolf. I don't know how Wolf, maybe Wolf can go for a move here. Would be 3 wide, but quite happy just to sit in behind his team at the moment. It's a difficult one, isn't it, for Wolf? Because if he really wants that move, he can just press a big red button in front of him and he'll make the move, but then he'll leave him so vulnerable. And wow, this is 3 classes going at it now. Wolf, let's see how he manages this one. He can't go down the inside and he's going to lose so much time to his teammate now.
I think that's just Fabrice getting a bit too eager and frustrated through the traffic, but that's the way it goes in the multi-class race.
Yeah, certainly, and yeah, that's why Fabrice is the driver that he is, very respected driver. So yeah, making those moves. Simpson was all caught up in it, and did he just make a little bit of contact, I think?
I'll just have a look now at the replay. Unfortunately, my replay doesn't go back.
Yeah, just watching it again, and yeah, just a little bit of context, I think that. And Simpson drops down into 5th position now.
Yeah, Simpson's gone into the pits. He must have a meatball flag.
Yeah, so not good for Simpson whatsoever. And yeah, sorry, I did just watch it back on the replay. I couldn't see it on my own screen, but yeah, he did smash into the wall. So yeah, Simpson not what's good whatsoever for him. And it does mean that Ribilo now is up into 3rd place, up 7 positions from where he started. Absolutely awesome for Julian. Up into the podium positions does really help the teammates of Cornelis and Wolf, because they're going to be a long way ahead now, the Pure Racing team. And still navigating their way through the traffic. It could be 3 wide heading down here. HPD goes right to the inside, but the LMP1 should have much better braking. He can't get it done though. I'm surprised he didn't just swoop straight around the outside there. I thought the braking of the LMP1 would be enough, and in the end they do get through, and still got 40 more minutes of this mayhem, 45 more minutes of this mayhem to get through. Here's Benefield then in 6th, and it's just 3 wide ahead as well.
Yeah, check. Look at the traffic coming up through the S's. Oh, GT car off in the background.
Yeah, now Michael Dalla Vela currently in 11th, I think, in 9th in GT3, and here was his little off, which is one of those things that can happen, unfortunately. And yeah, didn't lose too much because of it. Here he is again, just losing out to HBD, and now he's under pressure. Is that from Doman Gantar? So good to see Gantar back. He had a couple of issues with his pedals, I know, but good to see him back on circuit, and he's now side by side with Dalla Valle, and the LMP1 just goes past, doesn't interfere with this battle too much. He just swoop around the outside here. Dalla Valle though holds on very well currently to that P9 in GT8.
Yep, that was a good bit of clean driving between the both of them. They're racing hard, but also gave each other room. So yeah, it's good to see.
So Wolf is into the lead. Wolf is still just behind his teammate, and yeah, still having to make their way through the HPZ trail. Nice bit of clear space now for Cornelis to push into, and yeah, very good for him at the moment. Jack Sedgwick, by the way, still leading the GTE field. Silvestri in 2nd position, and you can see the gap that Sedgwick has got currently. Awesome start to the race for him. He's 6.5 seconds clear of the rest of the field. So awesome for Jack, and yeah, he'll be trying to back that up for the rest of the race. Just got to try to keep out of trouble really at this point of the event.
Yeah, he's having a good run so far, Jack. He's kept out of trouble, and yeah, I've watched Jack a few times, and he's probably one of the quickest drivers in a GT car.
Oh, big old incident there. Michel Ricci just looks away as that happened there, but yeah, Ricci then in the wars once again, was falling down earlier on, and this will be an interesting one to watch, I think, just how this all manifested. And he just went to the inside there. Not sure if there's a little bit of netcode there between the two cars, but yeah, it's not worked out whatsoever for them two. And yeah, Ricci falls down the field once again, down to 24th overall.
Yeah, it looks like the two LMP1 leaders are getting away again, and it seems that they're not really fighting each other, but they're kind of working together just to try and get away from the P3 behind them. But I'm just looking now at Nickets is not that far behind.
Yeah, pretty incredible this. Not quite having it their own way. Now, here's Labarti then on the tail of Williamson. So I think that was Williamson just making up another position. They're up into P2. Williamson is absolutely flying out there. Yeah, not quite sure where this turn of speed has come from, but he's absolutely driving brilliantly. Still Johan Huff leading that P2 field, 11th overall.
Yeah, it must have been the laxatives that I put in Fraser's Iron Brew that seems to be doing the trick.
So Kent Lydick now, and he's just going Dirk Fiederman. And this quite a big little train of GTE cars, and yeah, following each other currently. Didn't want to lose too much time battling one another, and course, these are all very evenly matched drivers, I think. And yeah, Richie just behind. You can see the little bit of damage on Richie's cars after all the incidents that he's been involved in after coming out of that final corner in particular. But he should still have a bit of an advantage on these guys. Shouldn't be an area advantage though. And yes, just can't really get close enough heading down into the chicane. You can see that gap, if anything, is quite extended down that back straight, but they're all closing in on one another. And into the pits, Richie comes. Clearly just trying to serve that, or tries to get that damage fixed as soon as possible, Ryan, and then get a bit of clear air as well, now that he's got this pit stop done early on.
Yeah, I think with the damage as well, I think I've not tested the 911 RSR. I've not had a chance to test it yet, but I guess if we're pitting early and getting the damage fixed, that he probably won't lose too much time.
Yeah, he'll try to get as much of those optionals done as possible. I doubt he'll get all of them done. And also, I'm not sure really what the damage model is like on the Porsche. We know the Ford in particular is built like an absolute rock currently, and of course, if yeah, all those iRacers out there, of course, we would have seen that damage model blog posted. Very exciting news, and yeah, certainly bring it on as soon as possible. Looks very exciting, certainly. Still Prost in 4th position in GTE, and yeah, he's just following Silvestri, Gronin and Lanza close behind as well. And here comes the LMP once again. Yep,
it's as like I said before, the track's so short that the LMP1 cars just catch up to the GT traffic in no time.
Yeah, we have had a change for the lead, so Patrick Wolf got past Fabrice Cornelis. Let's see if Cornelis can come back. So certainly no team gains there, but Nikic is doing such a good job to keep up behind. Yeah, so it was only 1.3 seconds behind across the line, really giving these drivers a great run for their money. Cornelis, the highest I-rated driver out on the field now. Can he respond to his teammate? Just gets into slipstream but doesn't apply the energy. Yeah, he just backed out of that, didn't he? He was off the energy ever so slightly earlier. And do you think there might be a different pit stop lap for these two drivers? Do you think Cornelis might think, you know, if I can get in now, then might be an opportunity to get the undercut? But he's right in the slipstream now, and no, he's not going to go for me.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, Fabrice could maybe pit one lap early and try and jump Patrick during pit stops, but I don't know if maybe they've if they're on the same strategy or not, or just basically just wait and see how it pans out. But if there's no team orders and they're fighting each other, it might be worth Fabrice maybe pitting 1 or 2 laps earlier and try and get that undercut.
Yeah, maybe, but it might leave him vulnerable to Dragan Nikic just behind. He's yeah, 1.6 seconds behind currently. Still, this battle in GTE raging on. Prost getting closer to Silvestri now in the Ford. Great to see a little bit of diversity out there. The Ford maybe is a little bit slower than the Ferrari, but we won't go there with the BOP. But down the outside goes the debut, and just can't quite make that one. If anything, loses the apex ever so slightly. Could have maybe got the run up the hill otherwise, but instead he might be under peer pressure from Gronin just behind. But yeah, for now, okay.
Yeah, I'm just watching Dragon now, and he's slowly but surely closing in on Fabrice, and I'm just looking at the lap times now, and there's not much difference between the lap times, but Dragon just seems to be a little bit quicker at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Yes, I don't know where this pace is coming from Dragon. I've actually raced a little bit against him in the DP, but yeah, absolutely superb driving at the moment, and really giving really punching above his weight currently. I don't know if maybe the two leaders are holding something back, but yeah, Jack and Nikic currently absolutely flying out there. We've got Ashley Owen 12 seconds off the lead, and then Cyanja a further second back. Daniel Benefield with his little bit of damage, another second back. And then Julian Ribelot, who had an issue, I think, earlier on after moving up through the field in 18 seconds off the lead. Still Johan Harther dominating in the HBDs. And here's David Baraclow now for Talk Freak, just behind Lars Moldener. And let's see if there's a little bit of team orders here between these two. And yeah, Baraclow there gets past very, very easily, let's say. And maybe can set off and tries to catch up to Kent Lydic just ahead.
Yeah, it looked like, just watching now, it looked like Lars wasn't fighting David too much, and I guess they're on TeamSpeak or Discord or some together, and kind of just decided, look, you're the quicker driver, David, so I'll let you go and see if you can catch the people in front.
Yeah, I think it might be the smart thing to do for those two. Ashley Owen just ahead of Cy Anja currently. Cy also driving well in the, I think it's the only Audi in this LMP1 field. I think Broadbent might be running an Audi as well, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, really representing that car well. But these guys are certainly in their own little race at the moment. I think there may have just been a spin up ahead. I heard a lot of tyre squeal. And yeah, seemingly nothing happened, but yeah, actually there was a spinner just up the hill, and yeah, it was just a Porsche who lost out, and here it was Kent Lydic. So yeah, the Talk Freak drivers will gain a couple of positions and just lost it a little bit earlier on there. And I don't know if you saw that, Ryan, but those curbs at the end of that S's section can be absolutely lethal at times.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the replay now, and it looks like he might have just caught a little bit too much curb, and what's unsettled the car, and just around she went. That's something you have to watch with these GT cars, but especially around Road Atlanta. If you take too much curb, it just seems to unsettle the car a little bit.
Julian Gronin back to this battle, still really raging on this GTE battle. Cedric is quite a bit ahead, but apart from that, it's John Weeks actually has got a pretty good lead in second. But yeah, Silvestri, Prost and Gronin all really close, and we should be seeing pit stops. Well, they could pit now if they really wanted to. They'd just go to an LMP1 SUD. But yeah, we will probably be expecting pit stops maybe in about 8 to 10 minutes or so. But if you're Julian here, Ryan, we've already talked a little bit about pit stops out there, but from what we've seen of this little battle, do you think maybe pit a little bit earlier just to get the undercut?
Yeah, it's worth a shot, pitting early. I mean, if you're stuck in traffic for too long, you'll lose too much time, but yeah, it might be worth during maybe pitting early and trying an undercut, as you mentioned, and see if you can maybe gain some positions by doing that and trying a different strategy.
Yeah, because he hasn't really got close to making that move yet, Julian, and just drops back ever so slightly. Still, Silvestri really holding on well there to that P3.
Also, I believe that Alex Simpson is in the interview waiting room, offering to do an unrace chat.
Yes, Mr. Simpson. We saw the crash up there, and yeah, just a bit unfortunate. It's just one of those things in the narrow circuit, lots of cars, and very close walls, and that pretty much summed it up.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the Javier in the LMP one was obviously being lapped and just trying to get away past, and I got a run on him, and I think his perhaps focus was on the car ahead and kept coming over, and I was already on the grass, had nowhere to go on. Just one of those things, like you say, just craziness with the track and things like that. It was always going to be manic here, absolutely nightmare. There's just no room through that first couple of sectors, and then the big straight. So yeah, a bit gutted. Felt good. I felt a lot quicker than I was last week. We had a competitive car, one that was going to hold its pace throughout the stint as well over the 2 runs. So felt like at the end we had a real shot, but well, we didn't get that far.
No, not quite. And yeah, a couple of frustrating rounds, of course, as you say. And
2 for 2.
Yep.
2 crashes for 2 races. So yeah. So we'll go for 3 for 3 next week, no doubt.
Yes. And where is it next week? Where are you going to crash next?
Yeah, it's the right way to say it. Hold on. Oh, it's Circuit of the Americas next week. So should be an interesting.
Sorry, just seeing a Ford just go off in the background. But yeah, Circuit of the Americas, bit of a different one to this, of course.
Bit more room in there, hopefully, and yeah, we perhaps won't be lapping people in our own class. Yeah, I know Javier probably had got collected in some there. Like I say, I'm not blaming him or anything like that. It's just one of those things when it's so tight and he's got to try and get by GTs and LMP2s all the time. Just not aware that I'm there on the left as well.
Yeah, such a.
Motor will be all good. Plenty of places to get by as well. Drive around the outside of some of the GTEs without getting held up.
Yeah, and before we let you go, any shout outs you'd like to give?
To you guys, really, thank you for doing the broadcast. Volunteer to do that.
It is our honour to
to watch me crash.
Yes.
I will. Yeah, I'll see what I can do for you next week.
I'm sure Alex will not let us down next week at Circuit of the Americas. That should be a very good one. We are just seeing Jack and Nikic coming in, and he dropped out. He dropped a long way behind, didn't he, Ryan? 13. So he dropped about 6 seconds behind, I think, the leading two. So maybe not going to be able to pressure them, but yeah, still a good job currently for Nikic and a couple of other LMP1s in as well. Benefield and Ribolo, and also Burton Harris into the pits as well.
Yeah, it's a bit odd that. I mean, I don't know if he took more fuel or if he took tyres as well. But in these races, I don't think you have to change tyres. So maybe it might have lost some time in the pit entry.
And here is Wolf. You can see how short this circuit is when one driver pits, and from a similar position, another driver pits, and it's nearly an entire lap lost. But here is Patrick Wolf, so his teammate Fabrice Cornelius, who was just behind before, stays out. And of course, no tyres will be taken here, tyres taken separately, so would be a waste of time, certainly. And this is big time now for Patrick Wolf to, I don't know, Ryan, maybe put a litre less of fuel in, I don't know, just to give yourself ever so slightly an advantage to go. This is going to be so close when Cornelius comes in, probably next lap.
Yeah, he might have took 1 litre less of fuel and maybe try and save some time. I'm just having a look at Fabrice now to see if he comes in this lap. He's got a GTE car to the lap. He gets by him safely, and Fabrice is into the pits.
Yep, so managed to go 1 lap further. That was probably because he had a little bit more slipstream. Not too difficult to save the lap round here. And yeah, moment of truth now. He needs to absolutely nail this one. Fabrice Cornelius cannot afford to overshoot his marks. So it's going to be very close between him and his teammates.
Yep.
Ashley Owen actually managed to. Ashley Owen I think will be pitting in this lap as well.
Yep, Patrick's just on the back straight now, heading into the final chicane. I'm keeping an eye on Fabrice.
Yeah, he's revving his engine already, and here is Patrick Wolf. Because won't be decisive.
Oh, this-
I'm sure they can make the overtakes, but this is quite important. I think Cornelius is way ahead.
Yeah, he's way
That's
ahead.
very surprising. Must have just been the traffic, maybe, or
Yeah, quite possibly
yeah.
the traffic. I mean, also Fabrice maybe saved some fuel in the slipstream when he was behind Patrick as well. So, and also if he was using less fuel per lap, then that means probably he didn't have to take as much fuel at the pit stop.
yeah, very possibly, and that may have been why he was maybe not too aggressive trying to get back the lead, just saving a bit of fuel, as you say, and had a shorter pit stop. He didn't quite get a time for Patrick Wolf's pit stop, but 31 second stationary for Fabrice Cornelius. So yeah, he restores that lead for now. I think Hart may have just pitted because I think the P2s are just coming into the pits now. Williamson came into the pits and now it's Labartzi in. That's LMP1 just off the track behind. But yeah, Labartzi staying out currently, so he's currently got the lead. And they can do a little bit of overcut on a couple of his rivals, but I think it's still Johan Hart with quite a big lead when it all plays out in a couple of laps.
Yeah, our cameraman Adam Bath has just said that the pit stop time for Cornelius was 16.6 seconds, and for Patrick Wolf it was 17.4 seconds.
Yeah, so a bit of a difference, but that wouldn't explain the entire gap. But yeah, certainly a contributing factor, no doubt. And yeah, must have just been that traffic then. On maybe on the outlap we saw Cornelius coming up to a 4, didn't seem to be in the midst of too big a pack, so maybe just profited a little bit from that, and that's pretty much comes down to luck. Here is Carlo Labartzi though into the pits, and yeah, for his one and only pit stop, and he should drop a few positions. I think Jesper will be coming in as well.
Yeah, Jesper's in the pits as well. Just looking to see where Williamson is. He's just heading out of the final corner.
Yeah, Williamson then, is he 4.5 seconds behind? Oh, it's possible then that Williamson could pull up an incredible comeback here after all the issues on the opening lap. And he's absolutely flying up there. Really is showing that P2 well. And oh my goodness me, that's the and Williamson still can't get that move done on the GTE. Now another P1 comes through, almost makes contact. But Williamson did pretty well there not to not get in the way.
Yeah, that was pretty tight.
Yeah, as close as you like, and yeah, do that section of the course. You gotta be dedicated as a P1 driver there, but just to not lose any time. And then now a long race like this, every single second counts, and battles that are so close out there. So Hart will has re-inherited the lead then, and Williamson back into second position. We'll keep an eye on those lap times. Going to be very important out there. The GTEs, I don't think any of them. I think actually, I don't think any of them have actually pitted yet. So yeah, staying out. Staying very. Richie's of course pitted. So we'll be interested to see where everyone comes out in comparison to him. But we are expecting any lap now for Silvestri and Prost to come in.
Yeah, I think the GTE cars will probably be in possibly within the next 2 or 3 laps, possibly.
Yeah, 21 minutes to go. And yeah, you're right. It should be in any lap now. Jack and Nikic all of a sudden coming under a bit of pressure from Cyanja. So Nikic was having such an awesome run earlier on, really pressuring the top 2. Just starting to drop back, or has been dropping back for a while now, and he's under pressure from Cyanja. That last lap, Anja was some 1.5 seconds faster. I don't know if Nikic has got some issue, Ryan, but yeah, that seriously struggling to pace. Another 7/10 lost on that last lap.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. Dragon Nikic was he was absolutely flying in the first half of the race, but just seems to be after the pit stops, his pace is dropped off a little bit, and I don't know if it's maybe tyres starting to go off, or maybe he's got some aero damage, or which might be affecting the handling, but it's a bit odd that his pace has dropped.
And look how close it is now, just 0.2 of a second. Angel pushed that big red button, and no, he doesn't go for the movement now. A little bit defensive there from Nikish, just to deploy a little bit of energy, just to repel the attack for now. And you can see that gap pulling away. The problem is now, he's back into the traffic, and he's lost all that time that he gained from that battery boost. He's lost, and Angel just about nips down the inside there. Though it is so difficult to manage that battery. If you can kind of do it so that you don't... Basically, there's no point in deploying a load of energy and gaining a second if you're just going to catch a car in this section of the circuit. Anyway, and Andrew's off, and yeah, his chances of a podium have just taken a big hit.
Yeah, I'm just looking back at the replay now to see what happened, and yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, it just looks like he carried too much speed and just missed the apex by a few meters, and oh, he lost the rear end as well. Oh, that was a squeaky bum moment.
Yeah, definitely. It was a bit of a weird one. It wasn't immediately the rears locking, seemingly, which can be a little bit of an issue, I think, with the energy recovery system. Can occasionally lock either the fronts or rears. But yeah, it just seemed to lose the kind of on turning almost. Always a difficult corner, that, especially when you're in those LMP1s trying to make moves, as we are just seeing now. Gantar still just behind Silvestri, so yeah, Gantar still playing plenty of pressure. These two have been absolutely glued together for this entire race, but just seeming to struggling to... These GTEs seem to be struggling to pull off that killer move currently, Ryan. This isn't a circuit that you'd necessarily associate with difficulty of overtaking, but these drivers just struggling to make it stick.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that the GT cars are struggling to pass each other. I mean, I guess around a track like such as Road Atlanta, sometimes you'll struggle to pass just because it could be a number of factors. It could be tyre wear, or maybe people got damage, or it could be that both cars, the Ford and the Porsche, have got they're probably strong at different parts of the track. For example, the Ford could be good in a straight line, and for example, the Porsche could be good in the corners, but on the straights it's not as good.
Cornelis is only just ahead of this race currently. It's surprising that Wolf has managed to respond, as he has dropped quite a bit behind at one point, but after that pit stop he's just rapidly closed down. That last time I think was about a second faster. So can he get the move done down the back straight? Doesn't look like it. But it's been weird, this battle, I feel, between these two pure racing cars, Ryan, because one moment one's faster, the other moment the other's faster, and I feel like there's a bit of a sense of kind of teamwork at the same time. They don't want to take each other out, obviously, and that would be the absolute worst thing to do. But yeah, it's just a bit of a peculiar battle, this.
Yeah, it just seems to be. There's no team orders, but the only rule they might have is basically battle hard, but also give respect and leave each other room when battling. And it seems they're not racing each other too hard, and it just seems to be they're more than happy to stay in formation for the moment. Well, as I see it, Jordan Weeks is just pitted.
Yeah, I think that was that from P2 at the time. So yeah, Weeks into the pits, and he was having a very good run. And here comes Jack Sedgwick now. So as long as this goes smoothly, I think for Sedgwick, he should stay out in the lead quite easily. Been a dominant performance so far from him. And he, yep, stops it well. And yeah, should not be too far away from maybe not keeping that lead for now, because I think there's a couple of other GTE drivers who still need to pit. But yeah, he should still stay ahead of Jordan Weeks, crucially.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on to see where Weeks is, and he's just exiting the final corner. So yeah, Sedgwick's well ahead. Oh, Patrick's up the inside of Fabrice.
Yeah, so potentially a change of position here. And yeah, that was... I didn't actually see that one, Ryan, but was it a unexpected move, or was it just getting the slipstream and then pulling alongside at the end of the back straight?
Yeah, it looked like Fabrice possibly got held up in traffic heading onto the back straight, and Patrick was able to get a run on Fabrice and made a move up the inside and made it stick.
Still going to be so interested to see who wins out this battle. It's neck and neck, of course, at the moment. Overtake shouldn't be too difficult to make, so it is just a case of who's the faster. And yeah, like I've already said, one moment one driver is faster, the next moment the other driver is faster. Dragon Nikic, by the way, has been able to establish that P3 quite comfortably. Let's see if Wolfdate can pressure Cornelius down into this chicane. And oh, he just looked to the inside there, but backed out of it. But yeah, Nikic has managed to establish that P3. Actually, Andrew coming onto it. Quite a bit of push from Ashley Owen now. See if Owen can get this one done. Maybe Andrew with a little bit of damage potentially on that car after that little off earlier on. And down the outside goes Owen. Not quite. Still will go down to the outside. And in the end, he's missed the apex quite a lot. And that's his chance, maybe gone for turn one.
Yeah, it looked like Andra made a bit of a late move to defend his position, which was a bit naughty.
Oh, and still nearly got the run down and so on just because of the traffic, but couldn't quite make that one. Couldn't quite get alongside, heading down there. Again, the traffic gonna hold them up. It's just a case of lining up the car now, deploying that energy, going to full-wheel drive for momentarily, and once again really defensive from Anja. Owen goes to the outside. You can make it around the outside here, but he'll just cut back to the inside. Not quite an opportunity there.
Yeah, I think if he gets a good exit, he'll have a run on Andra, I think.
Yeah, it's just about how much energy these two use. Owen seemingly not wanting to use too much. Different cars out there, of course. The Audi and the Porsche both have very different characteristics to their handling and to their power deployment. And you can see that Anja either the Audi much preferring that back straight, or maybe just using a little bit of energy just to defend against his rival. What's the gap currently between Haas and Williamson? Because we've been talking about Williamson perhaps coming back at Haas, and currently I think Williamson is still quite a bit behind, so Haas seems to be safe out there. After starting in P2 in this race, got the lead off Williamson with an incident for Williamson in the first few corners, and you can see the gap that he's got. He's yeah, quite handily ahead of Fraser Williamson still. Yeah,
I think the way it's going at the moment, I think Williamson will probably have to settle for second place in class, but second place it's nothing to complain about, considering Williamson had some issues at the start of the race after running wide in the exit of turn one. But it's been a good recovery drive by him.
Yeah, sorry, there was just an overtake, I think, from Owen, and yeah, got it done pretty early down the straight, and yeah, Nikic could not respond, so that was the replay just on the screen, and we already got quite a bit of a healthy lead. A driver who hasn't got a healthy lead is Fabrice Cornelis, because he's still only just ahead of Patrick Wall. Can he hold on to this one for 10 minutes? I feel as though we're just waiting for something to happen, because it's been all very civil, and yeah, just waiting behind one another. Maybe some mind games, maybe just some team games, but still these two refusing to really show their cards, I think, at this point in the race.
I don't think they really need to do much or push too much, because they've basically just been the class of the field in this race, and yeah, in fact, Fabrice and Patrick are well-known drivers in the sim racing community, and yeah, absolutely quick as well.
Still, Jack Cedric, of course, way out in the lead in the GTEs. The two leads in LMP1 just made their way past, and Groningen, I think, and Gantar as well, I think, just lost out to Lanza in the pit stops as well. So good pit stop for Lanza, and actually Groningen's just been involved in something there. He's just lost out to Silvestri. So Silvestri lost out as well during the pit stops, I think. So those two fell down a little bit. And Andrew actually losing another position out there. So he's down into 6th position now, and Benefield, here it was. And yet just to the outside, used a bit more energy, and I think managed to just sweep around the outside.
Yeah, it might be, Andrew might have a possible aero damage. It might be affecting the handling, or he might be affecting his straight line speed, because he's lost 1 or 2 positions within the space of 2 or 3 laps, and yeah, it must have damage.
Yeah, I think so. Of course, we saw that off that he had, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's maybe just affected the underside of that car. And once you do that, it can really affect the straight line speed of that LMP1 hybrid car. And yeah, he's really lost out. Looked strong for a podium at one point, but now a top 5 is looking pretty distant for him. Michel Ricci. That early pit stop did not work out at all well for Ricci, did it? That spin really, against such quality opponents, really has cost him.
Yeah, that spin in the early stages he's just lost too much time, and yeah, any chance of a podium finish, or yeah, a podium finish, as you say, and it's just, I think it's just the best he can hope for. Or is I'm trying to see where he is in class. Where is he? I have no idea, because my time is playing up.
I think he is P10 in GTE currently, and just behind Cedric Boland, half a second behind. Let's see if he can maybe get this one done. You can just see from that, it must be frustrating for Ricci. You know, clearly he's got a fast car, but not so fast anymore with that air damage, and it just makes overtaking so difficult. He has got a bit of a slipstream, he has closed in a bit down this back strip, but you can see absolutely nowhere near.
P1 car up the inside.
Yeah, a little very late there. And oh, Ricci, maybe this is his opportunity. Goes to the inside, heading down the hill. This is pretty nerve-wracking. Only just flat out in these cars, and still side by side. Can Ricci carry that momentum? And in the end, actually, Boland just backs off ever so slightly.
Yep, needs to watch. He's got a HPD up the inside.
Oh wow, way up.
Oh Jesus!
I do not know what that one about. I think that may have been some kind of hardware issue then for Boland, because yeah, whatever happened there, that was very unusual to see a GTE go off like that.
Yeah, I'm just watching the replay now, and it looks like Bolin might have had a hardware failure or maybe a wheel failure. But that was just very. It was just it was odd the way it happened.
Final 5 minutes and 20 seconds in this race, and still Fabrice Cornelius leads this event. This is really the only leading battle in any of the classes. The others pretty sorted, it seems, for Johan Hart in the HBDs and Jack Sedgwick in the GTEs, unless something extraordinary happened, because we did see something extraordinary happen last time out at Nürburgring. I think that was I think that may have been the P2s, I believe, with a hardware failure for one of the drivers, and yeah, and it changed the lead with just a couple of laps to go. But still, we are waiting for this one to change. And now Wolf, he's if he wants to win this one, he's got to show his cards now, because he's been waiting behind his teammate now for about 15-20 minutes. And now he's kind of got to make the overtake. And here he goes, maybe to the outside.
He's going for it.
And he's made it, surely. Oh, he's a bit deep on the brakes, gets the wheel onto the grass, just about. Okay, now can Cornelius come back? Good defense from Wolf to cover off the inside. Now Cornelius down into turn 1. A little bit of energy deployment. You just heard from Wolf that ever so slightly higher pitched engine sound, and he holds on for now. The gloves are off, let's say.
Yep. So, yeah, throw your team orders out the window. Go for it, boys.
Has Cornelius got any response to his teammates' pace? Of course, we saw Cornelius lose the lead earlier on to Wolf, then get the slipstream, and a much quicker pit stop sequence. Gained about 4 seconds through that, and somehow Wolf managed to close in that gap in just a few laps. But now he's pulling away, and you can see he's streaking off into the distance, and he looks very, very strong for this race win now.
Yeah, he just used some of his hybrid boost on the back straight there, and just to try and get away.
Still Lanza trying to get the move on props, and that would be for P3. This battle in GT, probably the best battle out there. There are a few less members than there were earlier on, with Gronen and Silvestri and Gantar all dropping down the field, and Ricci would have had a chance at this as well, but it is just these two remaining. Lanza trying to force the move on props, and both in the Porsches. And of course, as we've already said, just difficulty of overtaking out there. You can see just not really that close, and it's difficult to tell who's got the better pace on the last lap. Lanza did manage to close in by about 0.3 of a second. I feel he's got to just use tries to use a little bit of traffic here, tries to use a prototype just to maybe put his rival off line perhaps, and then really go for the overtake.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing he can do, I think.
Silvestri still holding off Gronen. He's been defending for the majority of this race, as Silvestri earlier on was in P3 and defending hard against a few drivers, and still holding on to that P5 in GTE very well, just ahead of Gronen and Gantar. He's just fallen off these guys ever so slightly.
But Wolf's been held up by GT traffic a little bit, but I think Fabrice is maybe too far back to do anything about Patrick.
Yeah, he's still got a very healthy lead. Unless Cornelius has got some kind of second battery in that car, which he can suddenly deploy on the last lap, it's not looking great, and they are about to go on to the last lap. We've only got 1 minute to go in this fantastic Road Atlanta event. Week 2 of the iRacing Le Mans series, and we are pleasured to be broadcasting it for all of you. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you've enjoyed the race as we have. but Wolf is just one lap away from confirming this victory, getting one over on his teammate. Still, Cyanja is hanging on to P6. Not too many battles going on out there. You can see Anja all by himself in that Audi. Been an odd race for him. Just had a bit of an off, and still Lanza trying to get the move done on Prost. He'll get one more lap to get it done, but it's not looking great for him at the moment. Cyanja actually into the pits. What's going on there? We only had one more lap to complete, and yeah, for some sort of reason he's had to take to the pits already. Wolf, though.
Yep.
Sorry, yeah, Patrick Wolf running out the final few corners, about to approach the checkered flag now. It's been an awesome drive from Patrick Wolf, and he's taken the race victory with just a couple of laps to go on his teammate Fabrice Cornelis. He comes home quite a distant second in the end. It just seemed like Wolf had that little bit of pace advantage, maybe just saving up to that last lap effort, and yeah, brilliant from him in the end. Where is Johan Hart on the circuit? Nikic is about to come home in third in P1. And Hart just on the back straight now. Cedric has already finished. Awesome drive from him, with Jordan Weeks in second position. And Prost managed to hold on against Lanza. Here comes Johan Hart, probably the most dominant driver out there. He's been absolutely awesome. And he's just gone off the circuit. And has he got an issue? No, he hasn't got an issue. He's fine. He's across the line. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, Johan Hart yeah, takes the victory. You can see how far clear of Fraser Williamson he was. Yeah, Adam, I don't know if you saw what happened there. Yeah, yeah, broadcaster Adam Bath is getting very excited about that. It was pretty. It was something that you'd see in the BSRTC, I think that. And yeah, but he hung on to the race victory. Did Johan Hart, and yeah, we can now take you through the final standings. That's Patrick Wolf taking the race victory from second on the grid. Fabrice Cornelis, his teammate, in second. Awesome drive from Dragan Nikic in third. He was challenging the top two early on, but just had a bit of an off in pace in the mid stage of the event. Held on against Ashley Owen. He drove very well from sixth to fourth. Daniel Benefield finishes in fifth, with Julian Ribolo in sixth, Cy Anja seventh, and Danilo Piazza in eighth, and Jimmy Broadbent comes home 2 laps down in ninth. Then it's Johan Hart taking a dominant victory in the HBDs. Fraser Williamson in second. That's Jesper Derlicke in third. We didn't see too much of him, nor Dirk Van Tulden, but they did a very good job. There's Adam Chmielowski in 14th overall, and then Carl Labarty rounding out the P2 field. Then in the GTEs, Jack Cedric takes the race victory with Jordan Weeks in second position. Those two were very dominant. Debut Prosps did very well to hang on to third place ahead of Andres Lanza. It's Vicente Silvestri, Julien Groenen, Damon Gansart, Michael Della Valle, Misha Ricci, David Badclow, Lars Moldener, Dirk Wiedemann, Andy Pers, Claudio Panada, Curtis Hardy, Sven Kamatz, Thomas Hines, Cedric Boland, and then yeah, a couple of those were non-finishers, and then the rest, Andy Vias in his HPD, James Burton Harris in the LMP1, Kent Leidick, GTE, and then it's Will Chagutha, Alex Simpson, Javier Perez, Oriellen Talman, Florian Groman, Kevin Siggy, Patrick Fields, and Thierry Vincent, rounding out the 44-car field out there. Should have a couple of interviews, and should we have a word with Fraser Williamson, coming home in second in the HPDs.
No, I went into Team 6, I was bored.
Hi, Fraser.
Oh, hello.
We saw you have a bit of an issue on the opening lap. Just take us through that from your perspective.
I don't know yet. I was sleeping on the start, I know that much. The race clutch car got up the inside. I don't know what happened next, so I've not had a chance to look at it yet.
Yeah, but then after that, you dropped a few positions, but quickly made your way through the field, and yeah, it must have been pretty good making all those overtakes.
Oh, well, depends what you say. It's good to know that I can do it. I'd rather not have had to have done it, but I took time out of Johan and caught up a couple of seconds for another set of incidents, so I can't complain at all, really. It's good to have the pace.
Yeah, at any point did you think you could maybe catch up to Johan? Because at one point we saw you certainly closing in, like you said, quite quickly. But yeah, wasn't quite close enough in the end. And, yeah, that second incident in the end.
Yeah, I took it from like 8.5 to 6.5. It was sitting about there. And then I watched it, you know, the situation, traffic every lap, you couldn't put in a clean lap, so it was just luck of the draw, really.
Yeah, and of course next week we've got Circuit of the Americas. Looking forward to that one, or maybe do you prefer these slightly more chaotic now circuits?
You know my feelings in Cosa. Horrible track. I'm not doing it whatsoever. I'll find something else to do that week.
Yeah, and of course the HBD. I haven't seen you around in the HBD too much, but yeah, enjoying it there because you certainly seem very turned on in it.
Turned on's one word for it, Sam. Right, I usually drive the DP. It's what I'm used to. This is just more downforce and less power. It's good fun. You know, I've get setups from Craig's setup shop. They're good sets, and it's all going well for me. So I'm enjoying it this week. Yeah,
and before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Well, Craig's setup shop, obviously, and just the guys at TBR for helping out like normal.
Thanks, Fraser, and maybe not see you for Kota, but maybe for week 4.
Some other time.
Also got Fabrice Cornelis, I think, waiting for an interview.
I don't know if I actually want to give an interview. Oh.
Yeah, Fabrice. Yeah, do you want an interview?
Yeah, sure. Just a bit.
Yeah, sure. Of course, we saw a great battle between you and your teammate Patrick. What was it like out there? Because certainly I was struggling to kind of work out who was fastest at whichever point. Because in the end, Patrick managed to pull away a little bit at the end, but for the majority of the race, you kind of seemed to have the race under control.
Yeah, it was going good till just before the pit stop. I hit a curb a bit wrong, and that gave me a lot of damage. So my hybrid was pretty broken after that. And then Paddy started close in. He managed to overtake me just before the pit, I think. Yeah, and then yeah, I don't know what happened in the pits with him. I think he just had a very long stop, took too much fuel. I don't know. I passed him again. But then, yeah, because my car was so screwed, he could keep up pretty easy and then just passed me on the right moment. I couldn't really defend a lot, so yeah, was a bit disappointed. But yeah, at least we finished the race this time and didn't get a disconnect. Yeah.
Yes, that was good news. And yeah, of course you don't have to say, but were you in communication with Patrick through that race, or were you just very much running your separate events?
No, I was normally running teams together, but I didn't really trust a lot of the like parked software this time for my PC, and also I really had to focus for this. So the car was really tricky. We set up the car very oversteery because yeah, it's all Atlanta. You need a lot of speed on the straight. So yeah, I really had to focus the whole race. So yeah. Didn't have any communication with him. Expect from some chatting on the back straight sometimes, but like yeah, text chat.
Yeah, it's impressive that concerning how chaotic it was that you can do that. Yeah, and how was it out there? Because narrow circuit, tight twisty circuit in parts, and we saw pretty much every lap just 3 wide between the 3 different classes. It was pretty frantic.
Yeah, to be honest, like immediately after the race, I told Patty, it was really funny following each other through the traffic. I had a lot of fun in this. I had a lot of people like kind of crying on the voice chat, but yeah, I think it's normal. You're all battling for the same like piece of tarmac. I think we were like in the 50. No, it's not possible. In the 40 cars, I think we almost had a full split on the whole Atlanta. Like for us, it's 1 minute laps, so we lap the GTEs every 6 laps. So yeah, of course it's gonna get a bit chaotic, but at the end, I think everybody did a really good job. I didn't have any issues with somebody, so yeah, good job to everyone.
Yeah, and any shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, sure. The guys in PRT, Escher, Atterhaus, Wallmeyer. I forgot the last one. Damn it! I have to practice more for this.
Most drivers aren't. Yeah, maybe not their forte, but yeah, well done, mate, and yeah, hope to see you next week at Kota.
Yeah, see you guys.
We also have Jesperoni in the commentary box. Sorry, mate, but yeah, could you just clarify your name?
Jesper Jalica.
Ah, right, okay. How was P3 in the end for you? And yeah, must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I I was fiddling with the setup for a while, working on a setup from Pure Driving School, by the way. Great setups. You guys should definitely try it if you haven't already. Shout out.
Nice.
But yeah, I got some help from Fabrice in making that setup a lot more stable. Who was second in the P1s, and yeah, it worked out in the end, keeping the car nice and stable. I was able to bring it home and get a really good podium. I wasn't expecting that at all.
No, and in the end, maybe Johan and Fraser were just a little bit too quick out there. Were there kind of any areas where you felt like maybe you were losing out to them? Was it maybe partly due to the setup, or do you think it was maybe just up the hill and whatnot? You were maybe losing a little bit of time.
Yeah, I think it was just my driving. I mean, I don't have nearly the amount of seat time they do in this car. So it was a very clean race for me. Only 7 incidents. Had only a 4X in there earlier on, so no damage. And yeah, I was able to bring the 13 car home and the podium. But I didn't have anything for Johan or Fraser.
Yeah, they're super quick drivers, and yeah, getting around there without any incidents is certainly the main goal. And of course, we've already had a little bit of word with Fabrice about how chaotic it was. But for you, of course, having faster cars coming behind you and having to overtake other cars kind of simultaneously, it's not easy for you HBD guys.
Nope. Definitely need a lot of patience. That's definitely the key.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, before we let you go, any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Like, obviously, to thank Pure Driving School for the awesome setup, and everyone who watched my stream on twitch.tv/Jesperoni. Thanks for all the support from everyone from Grip TV, and I can't wait to watch the broadcast back. It's probably a really good one from you guys at Apex Racing. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, fantastic to do it. And yeah, hope to see you back at Kota in 1 week's time, Jesper.
All right, we'll see you there.
So, Ryan, I think that pretty much rounds out the interviews, but we were looking forward to this event. We knew it was going to be chaotic, and in the end, there were a few incidents, but it really does show the class of these drivers when, you got 3 wide between 3 completely different cars, and somehow they don't come together. It's, yeah, very admirable out there.
Yeah, today was absolutely awesome to commentate on, and the racing was brilliant. And I think all 3 classes worked well together, and there wasn't any issues. There seemed to be a lot of respect between the 3 classes, and around a track such as Atlanta, you need that. And yeah, it seems that everybody worked well together, and there was no issues.
Yeah, it was great to see, and hopefully we'll see you back at Circuit of the Americas. But yeah, from week 2 here at Road Atlanta on Apex Racing TV, we bid you goodbye, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you back 1 week's time, same time, at Circuit of the Americas then.